Hi leaders, nice to see you. It's me, Elfie. Let us continue to our discussion about great leader leads great team. In our last two sessions, we have discussed about power. There are two sources of power, which are interpersonal source of power and structural source of power. Leaders need power to influence teams' behavior. So, learning about sources of power is very important and crucial. Leaders should know when and how to use power. Overuse your power will definitely create office politics. In this session, we will discuss about office politics. Let us continue to slide PowerPoint. Session 6, we will discuss about office politics. People always say power tends to corrupt. According to me, office power tends to create office politics. Mastering office political behavior doesn't guarantee you are the winner. But if you know nothing about office political behavior, you may lose the battle. What is political behavior? Political behavior means leaders and teams consist of attempts to influence behavior of others and course of events in the company in order to protect their self-interest, meet their own needs, and advance their own goals. Let me describe in this way. Almost all behavior may be regarded as political. Labeling behavior as political usually implies judgment that leaders or teams are gaining something at the expense of others. Political behavior also can meet appropriate and legitimate leader and company needs. It can also result in negative outcomes. So, leaders need to develop a balanced understanding of political behavior and its consequences. Leaders and teams should understand political behavior because it will occur. Eliminating political behavior is not possible, but it can be managed. Office politics involves actions by leaders or teams to acquire, develop, use of power and other resources to obtain preferred outcomes, especially when there is disagreement or uncertainty about choices. When leaders or teams share power but differ about what must be done, many decisions and actions quite naturally will be the result of a political process. There are many forces creating political behavior, such as unclear goals. Decision-making procedures and performance measures are highly uncertain and complex. Competition for scarce resources is very strong. Political behavior will be higher in the company that rewards such behavior. For instance, reward systems focus on individual accomplishment and minimize team contributions. In this case, individuals may be tempted to behave politically to ensure that they receive some of the rewards. There are 4 types of personality related to political behavior. Let us discuss one by one. Need for power. Successful leaders have high needs for power. They have a motive or basic desire to influence and lead others and try to control the current environment. Leaders who emphasize personal power strive to dominate others. He wants loyalty to himself. When he leaves the company, the team may fall apart, or he will bring the whole team with him when he joins another company or he is building his own company. Leaders who emphasize structural power demonstrate more socially acceptable need for power. He creates good climate and culture for effective work. His team will loyal to the company and not to himself, because this is what he planned and also his expectation. Machiavellianism. Niccolo Machiavelli was a 16th century Italian philosopher and statesman whose best-known writings include a set of suggestions for obtaining and holding governmental power. Over centuries, Machiavelli has come to be associated with the use of deceit and opportunism in interpersonal relations. As a personal style of behavior toward others, Machiavellianism is characterized by use of guilt and deceit in interpersonal relationships, cynical view of the nature of other people, and lack of concern with conventional morality. Machiavellians are people who manipulate others for their own purposes. They agree with the best way to handle people is to tell them what they want to hear. They believe that anyone who completely trusts anyone else is asking for trouble. They never tell anyone the real reason they did something unless it is useful. According to Machiavellians, it is wise to flatter important people. They are effective manipulators of other people. They often are able to influence others, particularly in face-to-face contexts, and tend to initiate and control social interactions. As a result, Machiavellianism can be associated with a tendency to engage in political behavior. Locus of control. Leaders who believe that they can control events that affect them. High internal locus of control leaders believe that events result primarily from their own behavior, while high external locus of control leaders believe that powerful people, fate, or change determine events that affect their lives. Leaders with high internal locus of control tend to exhibit political behavior and influence others. Risk seeker. Leaders differ in their willingness to take risks. Some leaders are risk seeker and some leaders are risk avoider. Risk seeker is more willing to engage in political behavior, and risk avoider tends to avoid political behavior because of its possible consequences. Negative outcomes are possible for leaders who engage in political behavior, such as demotion, low performance rating, or loss of influence. Engaging in political activity isn't risk-free. To advocate a position and to seek support for it is to risk being perceived as opposing some other position. Alright, leaders, I just want to remind you about a book that I have written, Office Power and Office Politics. If you want to learn more about office power and office politics, I invite you to read this book. Just go to Gramedia ebook store. Leaders, there are 4 types of personality related to political behavior. Those are leaders who need for power, Machiavellians, leaders with high internal locus of control, and leaders who are risk seeker. You can determine which type are you so you can manage yourself. In our next session, we will discuss about leadership. If you have any inputs or suggestions, please write it down in comment. And please give a like to this video and subscribe if you have not. Thank you for listening to me. Bye bye.